shootout for all the schools, water balloons or anything?
We've had all the classes in the parade, the different years of classes.
Yeah, but they didn't have water
Unless it
pistols.
was down in a different spot.
I didn't see any of that. We rode in the parade, we were in the beginning of it. And
You know, if I'd have known you guys were gonna be in the parade, I'd have showed
You'd
up
have
with
brought water.
my
So
water
move
gun.
ahead, if he gets here, he gets here, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, appreciate everybody being here at 6:01 Hermosa Town Board regular meeting, Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. I do want to remind everybody on our paragraph we have from the items from citizens as far as the times we have allotted for actions from the trustees to the public to who may be called on an agenda items, the amount of time we have per agenda item, so we can move right on through, have everything taken care of tonight. With that being said, we'll call Hendrickson,
Here.
Holsworth here, Kramer,
here,
Schumach,
Here,
and Thomason hasn't showed yet. We'll see if he does later on. Appreciate everybody attending the meeting tonight. And I don't know for law enforcement if they'll be here, but I appreciate that. And let's all stand for pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all.
sorry, I'm a little slow just standing.
Pardon?
That was a little slow standing up, sorry.
So the call for changes, I would like to move the item from new business up right at legal. We could actually even put it under item A of legal. And then I would like to add for discussion purposes under Public Works, a discussion of the Fifth Street repair. There will be an executive session tonight, so all of you are aware of that.
What was it you said you wanted to move?
New business under legal. The item of discussion under new business. And I wanted item H, discussion of Fifth Street repair
Thank you.
under Public Works. If there is nothing else, motion to approve the agenda is amended.
so moved.
Schumach makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Second by Kramer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Consent calendar is the approval of the July 5th regular meeting minutes and July 6th, 2022 informational meeting minutes and July 11th, 2022 special meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve so that we can go into discussion.
I have a
Second it for
motion
discussion.
by Kramer, second by Hendrickson. Any discussion?
Yes. Why is it listed as informational when it was, for the most part, exclusive executive session?
They were just an informational for executive session, yes. We just called and asked
Yeah.
about that and how to list it. So, the only
It was
other,
misleading.
I'm sorry,
I think it was very misleading to the public.
thank you. Under the special meeting minutes, I don't know, and I didn't pick up on it right away where the contract is 80,000 for a one-year contract. I don't know if we should have put under there and includes the 911 for 8,000.
It wasn't for eight.
It doesn't
It
include
doesn't.
the
It's
8,000.
88,000 for the,
Eight.
Right, but that's what I mean, it should be included also in that.
Oh, that plus 8,000?
For a
Revise
total
it
of
to add
88.
that?
Yeah.
I think
for a
it
total of
should.
88.
So that way it's a clarification all the way across the board, even though we've already started the payment on it a lot earlier. And I don't know if they'll want to mature it to where the two run together or if we'll keep it separated, but for comment.
Just add the 8,000 as it, the 911?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be the only set of minutes that I seen that needed to be amended. I think everything else was appropriate. So a motion to approve the July 5th meeting minutes. I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Schumach. Oh, we have a motion.
Yeah,
we
for
do.
that.
That's why I was
Is it for
wondering.
all or just July 5th?
We usually
She
do it
said
for all, yeah.
Okay, then we'll need to amend then the July 11th.
So I'll make the motion to amend that.
Okay, and second is
Vicky
okay
needs
on
to-
that, Hendrickson?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll vote on the amendment first. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now we'll vote on the others. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, same sign.
No.
Motion carried. One nay. Conflict of interest declaration. Anybody have any? Okay, item 5 is claims. I only have one discussion item on yet. Yes, ma'am.
Were any of the charges on Mr. Haig's invoice approved by the board?
Clear back when, yes.
Motions? I would like to see the motions. For the conversation with Goodwin, the discussion with Goodwin, yada, 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 because I could not find a motion that was inclusive of those.
Okay,
Maybe it appeared, I'm not sure when it may have appeared, but before we marked on that particular, the hours that you'll see on that invoice that have to do with tax increment and as special counsel to the tax increment issues, that's largely what that all arises from. There's another invoice that comes out that hasn't been issued yet with specific regard to Southern Black Hills water issue.
That
So-
came this afternoon.
Oh, did it?
They're
Did you-
both in there. Yeah, I hadn't gotten the claims done on Friday, and then I was sick yesterday, so some claims came in today. I just added them in.
Okay.
So that came in this afternoon.
Hendrickson?
So how much of those bills belong to Lone Coyote or whatever it is?
None of them would go on specific to Lone Coyote as to Lone Coyote itself, because
Is that it?
Preston
Yeah.
has hired me, and that's completely separate, segregated, and he gets his own billing. Unless it was something that was requested by the county or by the city, the town, we don't add it into that bill, of course.
I'm not picking on you.
Oh, I
I just am
know. No, it's good
questioning
questions. I want it to be
how
very
this
clear.
can come through for about $8,000 and none of it was voted on. There were no motions made. And so my questions are, how can the citizens be liable for $8,000
Oh,
when we never voted to approve any of it?
This is
Yeah.
back in
And I think the directive was clear, well, I don't think, I know it wasn't going to proceed on it, but couldn't.
Well,
tell you how
obviously, in
long
my
it
mind,
was.
it was mush.
I'm sorry?
Obviously, in my mind, it was mush, because it's not clear to me.
Well,
Susan?
January. No, it's Southern Hills.
You have a hand up, Dan.
Pardon?
You have a hand up. A question.
I'm more in discussion with the board, so
You're a member of the board? That's good.
I only speak when spoken to.
Now, you spoke first before they asked you the questions.
Is that an issue?
It's an issue because you just let anybody else talk.
Yeah. Well, when you're special counsel, sometimes you special privileges, I guess.
You have a question?
So if this is with Representative Goodwin, was this about the TIF district? Or what was, I mean, I'm just not
This is
clear
on
here.
the water sewer extension, the DA and an R, the,
So if that was the case, when was that approved?
When we met, matter of fact, it was actually election day, as I recall, as far as when we talked specifically about going and getting, trying to get something done or something off dead center with DANR just sandbagging the town. And I don't think you were at that meeting. You could have, I don't think you were. And it was very specific to, we're not getting any response. We have a variance that we requested that is well engineered, over engineered if anything, to comply for a variance. And my directive was to try to do what we could do to get the stamping up center. Just so happened that night I was visiting with Tim Goodwin at the post-election party. And that's when he said, oh, let me get you a meeting with Hunter Roberts, ASAP, because I know him very well, I work with him a lot. And so I put those wheels in motion, culminating in the meeting we had, a short time ago. So those are,
So shouldn't there be a motion required to approve the meeting with Hunter Roberts and everything, for everything to be paid for that too? Or is that just all inclusive and we're supposed to
I
assume?
think the directive was clear. Well, I don't think,
I
again.
think he was appointed as special counsel to do the legal work regarding the DANR matter.
clearly.
I remember that.
And the Southern Black Coast Water, which
So
owns the
then it
dam.
wasn't clear to me exactly what
Do-
that
Pull
entailed.
the minutes for those meetings right around then so we can look at them.
Right now?
Yes.
So it would have been June,
The election
If-
7th?
If Kent is right, it was June 7th, the night of that meeting.
It
I
was, yeah.
recall the meeting, I don't remember the date. I'm just having her pull the meeting minutes to make sure if Vicky was here at the meeting.
I don't think she was.
She was, I know she has missed one meeting because she was sick or in the hospital or a test or something. I can't recall the exact situation.
It was her back.
Okay,
So
well,
That was, you had gone in for some kind of stuff and you couldn't move.
Because there were several meetings that you missed when we were in discussion with the DA and R, the Southern Black Hills Water, the special counsel, the lawsuit, and it all was one big bundle of everything that was all pulled together that we've been going through on that whole circumstance.
And Southern
Just wanna see
Black
it.
Hills Water also is a separate issue. Partially because some of it may be reimbursable through the insurance coverage. I don't know if there's anything left, frankly, from that, but if it is, some of that should be able to be submitted.
When case law comes down, correct. And these are the copies that we needed to look at them, of the receipts that he had.
The invoices, I got those.
Okay.
I don't have you at that meeting, I can't, but that doesn't,
You found it?
I found the June 7th minutes.
Henderson was absent.
Thank you, Miss Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gabe.
See, it was before this that we had brought in that council. It was put back when Southern Black Hills Water first served us. It was put back when that is, so that goes back way farther than this. And when it was all initiated.
Well, if we're talking about the sewer line, I believe we gave the blessing for him to check into that at this meeting. And I don't see that, maybe it wasn't an emotion for him, and Vicki was not at that meeting, but that's the meeting that I recall.
Unless it was discussed in executive session.
It was a discussion.
For the sewer, for the sewer, the Southern Black Hills Water one, like Dan was saying, is quite a ways
Yeah,
before
that's,
that.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the fifth, or the sewer line was at this particular meeting that I recall. That we had
I'd like to see
discussion
the
on that.
motion.
No, I don't see a motion either.
We need to go
I'd
back.
like to see it.
Well, we're not gonna
But
do
we
it
don't have
now.
time tonight.
We're gonna go back to the initiative when we brought him in as special counsel for Southern Black Hills Water, which also entailed the
That was-
North Water Sewer Extension, because it entailed the easement and it entailed
Yeah, I mean,
everything
they're
that
all
we were
kind
dealing
of
with.
intertwined.
Yeah, I think that was back in April,
Yeah, it was a long ways away.
because we had that meeting up there with John and them. I thought it was like back in April, maybe.
Yeah, when did we drive over there? I remember coming to one meeting, well, it wasn't a meeting, we went up there and viewed the site.
Right,
Because we drove our trucks in there and Kent was here
Right.
and the attorney from Aberdeen was here also,
right.
so whenever that was.
That was, oh, hell, that was February, March, wasn't it?
It was warm out.
Wasn't there, and so,
Long time.
ambulance went.
Yeah.
And so there were no minutes taken at that meeting?
Yeah,
There were minutes
but
taken?
I'll go clear back to
at
that beginning, that we'll have to look for them.
Okay.
Of when he was made motion and brought in as special counsel to that segment of it.
All right.
I'll come have a look tomorrow.
Reaffirm that tonight. Special counsel. Just to clear up the Vicky's concern.
That or Kent don't mind, we'll make it pending till next meeting to pay the claim. Unless you'd like them tonight.
Well, I prefer it tonight, of course. It's a lot of scratch, and I got kids in college, you know. But, no, whatever is the pleasure of the board is.
I'm comfortable with,
However, it would be unacceptable to not, if you didn't find a motion, not be compensated. That's the point. I don't mind charging the windmills, but
well, like I said, I know when we made you special counsel, it entailed everything. Put it back in that day
I
when
wanna
we
see
had
it.
that problem.
I just want to see
Okay.
exactly the scope of what it entails. Doesn't mean you have to hold the check, just means I want to see it.
Yep. So then we have also the next question, once again, that Badlands sand and gravel, is that from that repair still over here? And then the parts from the Flying J repair that are back on here, did we ever get satisfaction from that contractor yet?
No.
So we need to know the contractor's name, and there needs to be a notice sent to them. You called.
He talked to him.
Pardon me.
You talked to him.
Yep,
And,
they're due back in town here anytime, I don't know exactly, but I don't know who his boss is, but I've not made contact with him, but I will.
so I'd like to leave them pending. You called Badlands?
The problem is we can't leave it pending because it's jeopardizing our credibility with Northwest Pipe.
And Badlands Sand and Gravel.
And
That's back in April.
Well, then with resolution to it, if we approve, I want to side note that Mr. Ferguson will be responsible for reimbursement if we don't get the contractor's reimbursement on it.
Yeah.
That way we can clear it up. I'll make an amendment to the motion to approve the claims, that we approve them with that aspect that the responsibility will be on Mr. Ferguson if we don't get the contractor's reimbursement for them two items.
You had a question, I think, from Chuck Irvine.
What's that?
You had a question from Chuck Irvine, I think.
Utility Solutions came back into town today.
That's who they are? So they are
You had a
here.
question too?
Yes, I was just wanted to know on the procedural things. Do I understand it that any time before city money can be spent, that there needs to be a motion made, seconded, and then voted on? Is that correct?
Depends on topic, subjects of what we're doing. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the claims. And we have a motion and a second amendment to the claims of the discrepancy on the payment of these two items with the description of Mr. Ferguson, and we'll vote on the amendment first. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Nay.
First off, who made the motion? I'm sorry, guess I'm behind tonight.
Aye and Schumacher did
Okay.
this amendment.
And who made the original motion?
I made the motion and you seconded it.
Okay, thanks. We had to write that down.
So I'm waiting for a vote from you two on the amendment.
Yeah,
Nay.
Aye. So 2 ayes, 2 nays, so it's a stalemate? Yes.
So, Chuck, this company is in town right now?
Their truck came in today. It's not the bosses, it was just the workers, but they did make it back today.
So do you know when the guy's gonna be here? The boss?
Not really. They call for locations several times and never show, so I have no idea when they're coming back.
The problem that they had was there was no paint on the ground. That was what they were crying wolf about, that there was no locate paint on the ground when they did the board. They personally met, but they felt from the one gentleman that was with the company that I talked to, said, well, there was no paint on the ground. But like Mr. Ferguson said, they went 7 foot frickin' deep.
Oh, them people.
right.
A lot of people, yeah.
So then he had to rush up and fix it, where they needed to be the responsible ones. And that's when I had stopped and talked to both Chucks and said, you need to have the information tonight, tomorrow, and the bill needs to go to them now for their mishap. And that hasn't happened, and I don't feel we should be responsible as a town to do that, the company should do that. You know, so that the responsibility is what it's been. If we're gonna pay this claim, Mr. Ferguson needs to get a name. We as a town, through our attorney, possibly need to send a letter and voice of opinion of fault on that situation, and that we're expecting reimbursement for that situation.
Do you have their address, Gail?
Mhm.
So nothing has been sent out to them prior?
No. It's just discussion.
And this bill has been for how long?
2 months.
Since April.
And no billing had been given to them in 2 months.
Chuck's been talking to him.
So the amendment didn't pass, so we have a motion and a second to approve the claims as written. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
No.
You two voted?
Yeah, I voted aye.
Aye.
You haven't voted?
I have not voted yet, no. Still thinking, I'm sorry.
Okay, motion carried.
You need to give that bill. I know. I'll call the people and talk to them.
Item 6 is law enforcement.
There's more
Um,
this time. There's more
Are you
this
guys
time.
okay?
Yeah.
Committee report, I see Custer County Sheriff went through, but I thought maybe they were gonna come back around. We never did receive a log
No,
as an update yet. Item D is the Custer County contract, which you have a copy of, that they brought tonight.
Yes.
And read through, it's all pretty generic. I see no problem with it myself. So I'd like to make a motion to approve to sign that, and we
Second.
move ahead.
I'll second.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm wondering if this should not be held until after we do our budget hearings.
We've already approved it in another meeting to go forward with law enforcement.
We haven't signed
That's
it.
all done.
We haven't signed it.
So I need a motion to approve.
I'll make that.
Motion by Schumacher, second. I'll second it. Further discussion? If none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I'm gonna say nay.
So we're gonna not have a contract with them then.
I want to table it till the next meeting, make a motion to move it so we can get a full board here.
The problem is this puts us not in lieu of the contract. So now we have no law enforcement without this signed and back to them. So you're gonna have to contact them, Gail, and let them know that we don't have an agreement or contract, because if they go to insure or put the other patrolman on or anything else, they're gonna have to stop it. And whatever it'll do for patrol. And hopefully they'll take us.
it starts the 21st of July. Tomorrow night are expenses in the budget hearings. I don't know if that,
Thank you, that's what I was gonna say.
if that helps on just what you're thinking about.
When is your first contract expired?
It's
It
expired.
It was at the end of May, I think it was.
But how
That was
much
the
we've
sixth.
already paid for this month, to what date?
July 21st, right?
We haven't paid since,
May?
I think it's May.
So we haven't.
Well, not even
we
month,
haven't had a
I thought we were
contract for a
paying
month.
monthly.
No, we
They
aren't.
won't take monthly.
No, they've held off on us because of this,
No, I understand,
but they haven't been charging us monthly.
I understand.
And with the special meeting, we've already acted on it. July 11th. This is just signing the contract. We've already approved
But
the
we just
agreement.
voted when
Pardon?
it tied and it failed,
When?
just now.
No, we, in a July 11th, approved the Custer County
And we
contract for
just
law
voted
enforcement
not to sign it.
services. Following discussion, made a second to accept the Custer County's Sheriff Office proposal to provide law enforcement services to Hermosa. Contract is $80,000 for 1 year. We amended
Yeah,
it
yeah.
with the 911 and all voted and all aye. So it's in effect.
It isn't signed.
Mitch,
And we
what's your
just
take
voted
on
no.
that?
Well, you don't have a quorum, you have a quorum here, but you don't have, I would table it until the next meeting in 2 weeks, so you have a full board here. Because right now, the vote was no. Have a substitute motion to table it till July, or June, or, excuse me, August, what the hell day are we in, August 3rd?
It will be, yes, August 2nd.
Okay, Henderson,
Yeah.
If we have budget hearings the next 3 nights, I would think that by Thursday night, Friday at the latest, we'd have an answer to what we need to do.
makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I'm sorry, in my world it does, and so therefore your opinion
Well,
differs
whether
from
it makes
mine.
sense or not, you got a 2-2 vote, it doesn't pass. You make substitute motion to table it till the August 2nd meeting, or have a special meeting as soon as the budget meetings are over to address this.
Add it to the budget meeting, the final budget meeting.
Yeah.
I'd make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second that motion.
Motion to have a special meeting at the last budget meeting to approve the law enforcement contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So we're still going to have to let them know that it was motioned and stopped to have the contract signed tonight and that it will be acted on Friday night.
Okay.
I guess that's the part of the committee that should have been done before the special meeting, which you guys did do, but you did have it in the budget and had the budget numbers and put it together for the approval for us to act on that night. So for it to be brought back on the contractual side of tonight is a whole different situation. Yes, ma'am.
Never mind.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay,
in
we'll
the same
move ahead
respect, you need to do
to
the same
legal.
thing. Just stop talking.
Item 7 is legal. Or,
We don't.
excuse me, no, we have the abatement spreadsheet. And on that, there's no
Excuse
addresses.
me.
No,
Right.
Well, I had Jill just take them off because I thought that was confidential information.
But we can't drive around and look to see if anything's been done and check them on our own.
Well, we haven't deleted them. They're
Oh.
on the spreadsheet. I just,
No,
I
but
thought
to
it was
take-
confidential
For
and
like us to take these and drive around and see the problem and see if it's fixed, we can't do that.
not with this, but we can pull one easily enough.
Okay.
I just thought that, I mean,
That's
if you
fine.
want me to put the addresses back on,
understand why now.
I can do that.
All I wanted was an understanding of why.
I mean, if,
No problem.
let me know if they need to go back on.
So have you reevaluated them?
Some, yeah. The rest will get done when I'm reading meters, which is tomorrow and the next day and the next day, so,
Okay.
yep,
And more that need to go back on?
correct.
No.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'll do the whole works. I'll
Good,
add and say done or whatever. So, yep.
good.
Yep.
Perfect.
I have my spreadsheet that has the addresses and I have room on my route sheet to write things also, so.
Perfect. Item F is law enforcement vehicles.
Was that,
Hendrickson,
Pending what goes on in the budget hearings, I think that needs to be tabled until we get done with budget hearings, is to decide what to do about those.
okay.
My
Motion to
suggestion.
table. Hendrickson makes that motion. Second.
Okay.
Kramer, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The Custer County contract for law enforcement, then we'll just make that pending until we have our Friday night situation. Item number 7 is legal. Is there anything from you, Mr. Johnson? Other than we'll have an executive session, so.
Yeah, everything will be discussed in executive session.
We moved up item A under new business to legal. The official act of the town board of Hermosa in support of forming jointly with Pennington County Tax Increment District Number 2, construction of Hermosa facilities expansion and Lone Coyote subdivision infrastructure and roads. Mr. Haig, I'll let you enlighten us on that circumstance, please.
You bet. Good evening. And it's an official, also we're calling for an official act, or that's why it's called in support of. You're not forming a TIF district right now. You're not doing anything statutorily that would set that in motion, except for expressing to Pennington County that it's the desire of the town of Hermosa to enter into a TIF district. And right now, recall, there's not even a project plan necessarily, formed. So the project plan will entail and will give reasonable detail to the county as to what is intended to happen and time frames, projected costs, and those types of things. So it gives them the meat on the bone to be able to commit to the idea as well. One thing the official show of support will do also is allow me to discuss with certain county commissioners to get the feel of the mood there for being in agreement with doing something like this. It would be my task, and I think, and it's fundamental, as the board knows, that to see that infrastructure continue and to be extended and get large subdivisions, wherever they may be, to be promoted through tax increment districts, whatever might be able to be had, is essential for the growth of this town, the growth that we all know is coming. I'm not here to sell it to you. You guys know it more than I do of what it is. Our being able to form the mechanism to do it successfully is of vital importance, and one of the key things for a town of Hermosa's size that has always been a little bit of a, to my knowledge, there's no supplement for small towns. It's simply the hard and fast rule that you don't exceed 10% of your taxable value in a TIF. And, well, that isn't a lot when 10% of total taxable value for towns of our size. So one way to achieve bigger projects that mutually benefits the Pennington County in this case as well is that you do a joint tax increment district. Under the law, it provides for two jurisdictions to agree to have a tax increment district that they form together. And what it does for Hermosa is creates a value that can be used of Pennington County. So essentially it's huge. Well, it is huge. The real aspect of it is when you look at, so it gives you the green light. Let's go back. So it gives you the green light to be able to do what you want to do. You're not constrained by your borrowing or your designation power of how big that TIF can be. That's one. Secondly, though, just like anywhere, regardless if it's in the county or just in town or anywhere, is what is the feasibility of payback? I mean, is this thing going to work? And are the things that are being paid for in the best interests of the region? And I think something like this, Pennington County, I imagine would be very excited about this because of the amount of land now that's probably has a taxable value that's under A. I don't know what it is, but it's probably not over $5,000 a year, if that. Now turns each and every couple acre parcel into $5,000 to $10,000 a year per couple acre parcel. So it takes it takes an area that's essentially from a tax revenue generation aspect very minimal to make it quite a nice tax generator for, as you know, for the county and the school district. The towns, the municipalities get not much of it, but what it does do is it brings population to get more commercial growth as well, increasing that sales tax for the town. Sales tax, as you know, again, is their biggest revenue generator. So it's very symbiotic in how it develops together. And this is simply a show of support of wanting to pursue that end. Nothing's ingrained, it doesn't ingrained at all. It can, like I say, the project plan hasn't even been written yet. So there's going to be discussion, debate, and the numbers pushed based on projections of is it feasible. On a tax increment district, there are many components to make sure it's a success. The big thing to remember as a town board or any jurisdiction is that if it fails, there is no exposure to the municipality or the county. Just isn't. The exposure lies with the developer. So your general fund isn't gonna be rated by some, whatever bill is left or whatever loan is left at the end of the 20 years it didn't get paid off. That's not the case. It's very, very safe. That's why it's such a sweet mechanism for municipalities and counties. So how do you make it a success? Because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. Number one is that you have, if there's a willing developer, because town of Box Elder, the city of Box Elder is doing a city-backed TIF along with grants to put in Cheyenne Boulevard and a major sewer system and so forth. So there's two types, essentially. On a town-backed TIF, whether it's town or developer-backed, you want to set them up for success. The big thing on that is clear understanding that you're not going to have any revenues for 2 years or at the earliest that will go against the payment of this loan mechanism. So the bank needs to understand that, or whomever is lending the money. Typically it's a bank, but it can be a private party, it can be anybody. And the law, the tax increment district, that creates the special fund when the district is formed and the project plan is passed, then that special fund is created by law, by operation of law. And those tax revenues, as they're generated, because now there's growth on that land, the tax increment went from here, from ag, all the way to here, because there's houses on it now, or whatever, because I think along there most likely would be some commercial growth as well. I would think that's reasonable to expect that, certainly multifamily and those types of things. You're going to get no revenues for the first 2 years, so the bank does need to understand it's not, and the ones that know TIFs are fine. Bank West does a fair amount of them, and they don't expect any revenues from a TIF district for the first really 5 years till you see some growth, because you're dealing with empty land year one when it's formed, and if you really get with it and get stuff in the ground, which this is a shovel ready, matter of fact, shovels are put in the ground already out there for loam and coyote and for what other things the city might want to do with this TIF. So the growth is on its way, as far as being produced by a TIF in that mechanism. So I see that probably year 3 or 4, you're going to probably start getting some fairly decent revenues. And that is cool to watch because it builds on whatever is built the first 3 years. Then, there's more here, and it really exponentially starts to grow, and then retire that debt. So it's a great way to go. They have to be written correctly so you don't have built-in pitfalls and they're set up for failure. Another way to do that is the amount of interest that you build in has to be adequate, because who'd have thought interest rates would be back up to 6.5% or whatever, although I've seen 16% and better even in my years. But the bottom line is it's going to have to be written properly so the TIF succeeds. And all I can tell you is that all the growth, as you know, all the expenditures must take place inside the district. You want to make sure it's a dollar amount projected that's going to be high enough that you don't have to go back and amend it, increase the amount. However, the law just changed a few years ago that I believe it's up to 30 or 35%. It can be above and beyond what it was set at in the project plan. That's totally new, relatively speaking, because it used to be 5%. And if you went beyond that, you reset your base to you lose all your base, in other words. You lose all your increment growth. So, is there any questions about the mechanism?
Any questions from the board?
It's exciting stuff, guys. Really, it's just cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done the TIF before with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I think we've had this conversation before.
Yes, we have.
No, yeah, you said I'm getting glazed over. Okay.
And I think the biggest thing is the support that's gonna come from it is for the support to allow them to go to Pennington County and ask for Pennington County support. So they're basically asking, are we going to support it or not? And then he can carry it to Pennington County and see if they're gonna support it. So we're a long way away from going into a project plan, TIF plan, and approvals that all have to come back to this board. So this is basically just asking for that approval. And what it does, and what I'm understanding, is gives the TIF more borrowing power to pave the roads, to be able to do the infrastructure, to be able to do better developments all the way through the process.
Yes, you're only limited by, in this case, you're not constrained by your tax base value. The only constraint you have is projected debt service. Is it reasonable to believe that based on projections, that debt can be retired in 20 years? If not, then you want to go back and figure out how that can be done. On the Preston side of things, that separate billing, separate council, and so forth. We are working, dovetailing into what the city has going on, so that the city's infrastructure is going to, the town is going to benefit as well, because he needs it, you need that, you need each other to make it work and make it generate growth and cash flow. So a lot of this now will fall on to Preston as the developer in formulating this TIF. There are some things that are distinctly city or municipal, and some things that are distinctly developer. And I know very keenly which ones are which, because I've been on both sides.
I'm going to ask for a motion in a second, and then we'll go to discussion.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Schumach, discussion, yes, sir.
I get, question I had was on the TIF. Where do you decide which property is going to be in that TIF?
You look at the growth, where there might be projected growth, it's pure speculation, because who knows in 20 years, you could have a packing plant come in and very soon.
I guess, quick question then, I'm already on a TIF, I'm within a TIF now,
Okay.
and that's when they put the new water and sewer and stuff across 79. I pay each month, or not each year I pay on my taxes, I pay the increment of the TIF payment on my taxes. And I guess what I want to know, are you going to overlay TIFs on other TIFs, or just out there, just on the others?
That's an excellent question, because right now, the current TIF, I believe you're under, is pretty close to expiration and fulfillment.
And I, just like the people who own the property prior to
Yes.
that, I have been paying that.
Yeah, and it's important, I'm really glad you brought that up, because it's important for everyone to understand that you don't pay more tax because there's a TIF. It is identified as the amount that goes to the TIF. The amount that you pay as you pay before the TIF was formed, that's line item, if you notice, is the same. But the growth in value, any growth that you have because of new assessments and stuff, goes to the increment. But it doesn't increase your taxes at all. You're still being taxed at the same rate as whatever the county said you should be taxed at. So there's no additional tax paid by implementation of TIF.
So in other words, when that TIF is paid off, your amount will still be exactly the same, it just won't say TIF, it will say Custer County.
I'll say, so it's A and B right now, and what you're telling me is, it was C, and now it's A and B, and then after the TIF's paid off, I go to C, and C is equal to A and B.
Correct.
I'm not very good at math, but yes, you're probably right.
Yes.
No, that's just what I
I thought I
understand.
could math the bullshit.
That is correct.
Yeah. No, that's what my concern was, is, I do see that on my tax deal.
Yes.
And I did call the
Auditor.
auditor, and And they never really explained it that well, that's why I wanted to ask the question now.
And most, most bankers, most boards, most officials don't understand. Because there's a lot in that, it's not a very big chapter, but there's a lot in that statute. It's packed full of opportunities for municipalities and counties to use. And it's highly, highly underutilized. But this really, by doing it with the county, really puts a turbocharger on it.
So it's not, you know, even though this TIF goes away or a TIF on another TIF, say if another TIF came on the TIF and before this other one was gone, it's still gonna, the three are still gonna be equal to the one.
If I'm following it, yes, but one thing that's hard and fast rule is that the second TIF that overlays does not receive a dime until the first TIF is paid in full.
Okay.
The only reason for doing an overlay really is to freeze your tax base as early as you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then it's not gonna cost me anymore.
No.
So I think it's a good deal, I'm for it. When I looked at my tax deal, I didn't.
You wonder like, well.
You know, I'm paying for this,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
why do I want another TIF? But the
Right.
way, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would not.
Thank you very much for your
Oh,
explanation.
absolutely, anytime.
And that's the thing about this first TIF. We're within, what, 80,000 of being paid off? I believe is what the number is, because we made 120,000 payment this early, coming into spring, and paid it down. And so that way, that TIF was unique because it was used for collateral for our D8 and our loan.
That was the first time that ever been done.
Yep, and so that's why success on that is huge too, and will be, because of the increment monies we have in there before we get to expiration, we'll have that paid off. And so then, in that circumstance, then any overlay that were to be done by the time it's drafted, whether, hopefully Pennington County will go along with it, because it's such a win-win for our side to use their borrowing power, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, that was one thing when this TIF was approved, the board that was sitting here at that time flat said that that cannot expire until the water project was paid for, or whichever project it was, like, you know,
Sewer line.
sewer line project. It was, the two had to be done at the same time, because we were not gonna put the cost of that onto the citizens that weren't using it. It was the TIF that caused that growth project. And so we made sure that it was gonna be paid off at the same time, so that the actual citizen, correct?
That's correct, and the TIFs expire only one of two ways. One, the 20-year runs. Boom, whether it's paid off or not, you're done. Or you pay off the loan or the project. Then that ceases it. If you pay it off in 17, then it's done.
And you're right, the water expansion was in there too,
Yeah.
where we extended the water line. Yes, sir.
Mine's a little bit off on this, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but you said part of the money coming in is speculation on getting commercial stuff to come out here. I'm wondering, has the developer talked to anybody and said, listen, we're gonna do this, but we kind of need to see somebody coming out here, we'd like to get a commitment from you that you're coming, instead of just hoping that somebody sees we're developing and wants to bring business out here. So have they looked into somebody, have they, you know, are they trying to talk to people to come out?
I'm not aware that they have. I could be totally wrong, but I'm not aware that they have. And as a developer that's done these also, like up on Highway 16, I mean, hope is not a good business plan, but when you do a developer, that's a lot of what you're betting on. You're
Right,
betting on
that's
the
what I was
company.
getting at.
And growth is gonna come from that way, it's gonna come from that way, and you start getting rooftops in there. It's gonna start making sense for retail, whatever type, to grow in there and do the infill and really create that sales tax base growth. You'll also see another thing is multifamily. You know, that is beneficial because it's not taxed as owner occupied, so it pays even a bigger chunk of things. Again, it doesn't really benefit the city, than the town, because it's property tax that goes to the county and the school, but your school benefits greatly.
Yes, I was just thinking, I'd like to see the contractor talk to people and say, you know, we would like to get you something out here instead of the town hoping and spending all that
Yes.
money, and we're not gonna get a
Yes.
return on that.
And some things, because you're exactly correct, there's great 79 frontage out there. And it would make all the sense in the world to make sure that some of that land is designated to be office commercial or general commercial, and or to include the multifamily, future multifamily. Because it's just needs to be done right there. It's really a great location for that stuff. In the plan that I proposed to the city engineer on behalf of Preston, after I took the original design and that they had, that Renner had done, and we're implementing things now in anticipation of that kind of growth. Because instead of just turning off of 79 and going in, we're going to build in that project plan a deceleration lane. So you're not stopping on 79 before you turn. Huge issue. And also an acceleration lane as you're going out. So you're looking at what's the safest possible scenario if there's good growth. What's the safest possible scenario 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? And it's already in there. You know, so it can be done.
Well, I guess where I was going is, did he talk to, or can he talk to people and get some kind of a commitment out of them? So we're not hoping that just because we've got the space, doesn't mean somebody's gonna get there.
I think the biggest thing is with the housing development, your commercial will come. You're never gonna get a commitment from anybody, but they will come when they see the housing. When you're talking 1 to 4 acre lots and upper scale homes that'll be built there, you're gonna bring it. Shorb has a triangle in there of, I believe, 5 acres that is commercial set or whatever he wants, not to mention his frontage. They have the other side of the highway that'll eventually be involved too, that has the frontage. And you have everything in, hopefully in the annexation process, that'll be frontage for commercial. So all of that comes and will come, but you have to have the housing to back it up first. Otherwise, your commercial isn't gonna come there. It's a speculation on that side. So you'll never get that. You'll have to have the bulk first. That's why when they see Hermosa Hills, even seeing Jerry expand, they see more of the housing coming in Lone Coyote. They see the possibilities down in where we're at in Walnut Grove, what's expanding there, and storage units. That's what brings the people to start looking more in our area, like Dollar General was a prime example and why they came in. They knew and seen the future of where it's looking at for development. So that's where it all comes from on that speculation, so.
That being said, it did take them a few years to find a spot. You know, they looked at many, they came to planning and zoning several different times, and it took them a while to get it figured out, but they'll come. The commercial properties will come if you have
After
enough housing.
residential.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need the rooftops to drive it though,
Yeah,
most
exactly.
typically, yeah. Another
Okay.
thing- Go
Can
ahead.
I ask
Yeah.
a question? So I thought Lone Coyote though was all residential.
The vast majority of it is, but what I'm recommending is that frontage be left, maybe just not designated yet. You don't, just because that's in the TIF, you don't have to zone it. Most of them stay ag for a while until it's ready to be developed.
Okay.
So, but as growth comes, that way you can be agile enough to, you have a place that needs a 5 acre campus. Well, you're not locked into any, or if it's a Taco John's that needs a 1/4 acre.
Mm-hmm.
You got that flexibility. It makes really no sense to start putting arbitrary lines everywhere until you know who's most likely to go in there. And the other thing too is after reviewing the original plan, is I suggested they've implemented instead of a number of 3 to 6 acre lots, bigger lots, 1.5 to, I think the biggest one is probably going to be 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're going to add some green space and stuff, but they're going to have more lots. Again, that creates higher density. Again, that creates more population for the commercial to grow. And it creates a healthier TIF because you got more growth, more improvements. It's a cool thing because TIF is, tax increment districts are very symbiotic. You have somebody that has an idea, has a plan, and implements a plan, and you give them a funding mechanism that and I can't underscore strongly enough, that the developer's putting their name on that $4 million or wherever it is, you know.
Right.
And, yeah, you better have a better plan and hope, you know. I find that out too. So,
And that's what I was gonna say, the next site is, that developer is the one that better make it successful, because they're putting their name on the line, they gotta put the finances in, they gotta put the infrastructure in, they have to put the money forward. And if it takes 2 years, 5 years, they're carrying that load,
yeah.
until they get that built.
Yeah, it's exactly right, and I think as a municipality, one of the greatest services you can do for your growth is is number one, being open to doing TIFs. You see a lot of negative commentary sometimes, oh, it's just for rich developers. Well, sorry, that person is not putting their name on $4 or $5, $6 million, I guarantee you. Or has any idea of the jobs they create or the growth they create. That's a side note. But it should be out there to a level where if whether it's commercial or it's residential or all the above, multifamily, it should be out there a little bit on the airwaves that, hey, we've got the power under state statute to form tax increment districts. And we have a partnership with Bennington County, we have a partnership that we could form with Custer County, and get that idea of that developer who's willing to take the risk, give them all the help you can, because that's fantastic for the county, it's fantastic for the town. And again, like, not all growth is good, but this is good, healthy growth.
Great discussion. We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So we'll hope that you'll have luck carrying it to Pennington County and get the same success there, and start putting a project plan together.
This will definitely help. It gives that official what you need. And if you, I guess you just send me a transcript of that, I normally would demonstrating an official act. So.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you.
Basically a copy of the minutes.
I'm sorry?
You want a copy of the minutes?
Yeah, we can get, a copy of the
With
minutes.
the motion.
And demonstrating that, then
Okay.
I'll attach a cover letter to it.
Okay.
That demonstrates what you've done. All right.
Thanks for explaining it.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good to see you. Appreciate
Thanks,
your
Dan.
time tonight.
You bet.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right, with that being said, item number
Bye,
8.
Vicky.
Pardon?
Bye, Ken. I love you too.
I love you.
Hugs and kisses.
So, item number 8 is engineer. The water rehab WRT system is of course pending. We have the water test results, they've been sent to Leah too, right? Yeah. And then of course we're waiting for the October, November funding. Sidewalk project's pending. Sewer project lagoon is pending. Water sewer facility plan resolution is pending. Town of Hermosa water sewer extension project is pending. The Hermosa Hills drainage, I was gonna talk with Preston, they filled the potholes, but it still didn't look like they did the one culvert yet. So I'll talk with them more on when their completion is on that. Whitney Street drainage, we're waiting for Mike on that. I was gonna try to call him today and didn't get a call, so I'll do that tomorrow, find out what his timeline is. That Fifth Street
Wait,
repair,
can I interrupt you for a minute?
yeah.
What do you mean by that? You're gonna talk to him about that? He
Well, Mike
was,
said he was gonna be here in 2 weeks and,
he was here today.
good, good. So, did he do the flow test too?
No. I didn't have time for that today.
Okay, so we'll discuss more in the public works with the water department then, and know where we're at on that. Is he going to come back to do the flow test soon?
Pardon me?
Is he gonna do the flow test soon?
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks,
I
within a
don't know,
week?
he just got back from 2 weeks vacation and he just busted down here today to get this out of the way and we'll schedule the other stuff at a later point here.
Okay. Yeah, nobody said anything. Did you call Linda and let her know that he was here?
Ain't had time yet.
I think that's our biggest
I knew.
communication. You did know? Good. You know, and
I talked to him
good.
just for a few minutes, but yeah, I did.
And so you got an update of what went on and took place and all of that? Good. So that's good to know on that part. It's huge on that aspect of it that we keep in that line. I just wasn't aware he was here today, so call's good. With that being said, then it'll be nice to know when he'll be back to do the fire hydrant flow test. We want to do that numbering of the hydrants as we're going through it. He was making the expression that he would actually like to have them numbered prior to doing the testing, and I don't know if Jill worked on that or not, but that would be a good thing to get with Jill with also and see
Okay.
about them locations of fire hydrants, numbering them, so when Mike goes through, he's already got them numbered and knows
Good-
what we're
good
at,
idea.
what we're doing
Okay.
with the elevation and how the tests went, so,
Is there a method to the madness on that of numbering them?
no. It's just one end of town through,
Okay,
and then having it, whichever side you wanna start them at. You
good.
know, we've got the GIS system, so
Mm-hmm,
we'll just set it up from there.
okay.
So that'll be a good thing on that part of it. Fifth Street repair discussion, I had that under Public Works, we also had it here. What I was going to ask is that I have a number of when we did that work. I may just turn it under GJ instead of Miller and clear that out. So I'll bring that up for discussion. The original bid that Miller did on it was $5,600 to do everything over there and to go where we did. What I'm gonna do, I donated the water truck, I donated the loader. I figured if we did it for $1,500, I'd call it good. You know, we spent 12 hours plus there, plus the next day for another 3 hours on it. And that was track steer, dump truck, loader, water truck, broom. So that's what I'm gonna bring to the table, so I wanted everybody to know tonight. And that way when that bill comes through, you all know.
Are you gonna bring that into the Public Works then? Or are you discussing it right
No,
now?
I'll just do the discussion here and then
So
we'll
is
have
it
that.
approved? Was
Pardon?
it already approved?
The bid was with Miller Construction. So that's why I figured we used the town millings. I hauled them over, used them when I did the project, broomed the whole thing so it was ready for Simon's and ready for Iron Horse. Went above and beyond what we were gonna do originally. Yes,
I really appreciate what you did there, Dan, but you don't have to donate all of it to the town. You used your equipment and your men, and you were here hour after hour. Yeah, that should have been a $50 ticket there.
We don't have any now.
I mean, when you're going from 5,600 to 1,500, I mean, that's very generous of you, but
it's all about the community and the budget.
I know, you donate a lot to this community, I understand that, but you have a family to take care of and a
Yeah, retirement's
retirement,
coming up.
yeah, I mean,
We also
Yeah.
have a business, and if I had to depend on what I do for the town of Hermosa, I guarantee you we wouldn't be making it.
well, I know that too, but,
You know, and that's always been, our biggest dedication is that we've always been community driven, you know, and there's some that don't believe that, and some
Oh, I agree with
that have
Linda.
circumstance differently, but, you know, it's just, in my feeling, with Miller bidding it and fully gonna do it, and then they dropped the ball on us and said, we're gonna be there
we're
in 2
gonna be
days,
there, yeah.
and you better be ready.
And so you dropped your life and your business to handle that so that it could be done properly. And as properly as it could be on that budget, let's rephrase that
And
a
it
little
does
bit.
look nice.
And it does look nice. And so it's I mean, I can't write your bill out for you, but I'm just saying. And so submit your bill whenever and I'll argue about it then.
Well, I appreciate it, but like I say, I want to be upfront and let everybody know. Roy's drive-in sewer line is the next item. Roy was in. I wanted to mention tonight then, I'd like the water sewer department people to be involved. I want him to meet with the engineer and us and go over what that extension and that letter involves. He was quite upset when he come in and talked to Jill that day at first, and I told Jill, put him on the phone with me, and told him, I said, remember we talked 2 months ago. I said, you're gonna get this letter, it's going to give you a deadline that you have to do your extension in your sewer line for. And if you have to do that extension in that sewer line, extension of our main, putting a manhole in, running your line to it, you're going to have a cost involved in that because they're not gonna do that next phase, they're gonna go west and start the next phase. And I said, that's what the discussion is. So possibly if it's, I threw out a fictitious number, I said if it's gonna cost you 30 grand to do an extension of that main, set the manhole and run your line from your concession over, I said, maybe you can make an agreement with the developer that you contribute 20 grand to them and help them in that infrastructure line. They may then do a single row of houses if they have a little difference of that. And then Roy recalled the conversation after we went through all of that. But I said, I want you involved along with the engineer. The engineer can sit down, plug numbers in on what each end and what portion of that is gonna cost, and let Roy know. And it wasn't that Roy's gonna pay a developer to help him develop that line. It's Roy's going to save himself money from coming clear down to the end of his property and doing the extension of the main and the manhole and making it better for the developer. It will be better for him to come straight off his and right into their main. So
Is he rethinking then that he might want to do that? And
I told him, I gave him Ace's number to contact her, see about setting a meeting up, let us know. I said later afternoon's better for you and you. And I said, and then that way, if I will post a quorum so that we know that it's gonna happen, then that way we can meet down at Ace's or we can meet here, whatever's more convenient, and go through it. So that's gonna be coming. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What is the current situation with his sewer?
Pardon?
What is he using to accommodate?
Holding cell and pumping.
Has anybody ever asked for his pumping records?
No.
I would be real curious to see how often he's pumping that. And how long has he already been given to get this in?
This letter gave him 30 days to
No,
respond.
I mean total, since this started,
I
where he
don't
could
know
have
how
had
many
it.
years we've been on it.
Oh, my.
before I started here.
That's
Back
what I
when the
thought, so
drive-in
it's been
happened.
5 or 6 years at least.
Well, and then the development was going to take a different path and didn't. So it's changed that whole base, so.
But he's had years and years and years to rectify this situation. And
And
he's
there's
acting
also-
like it just came through yesterday,
Pardon?
but I'd like to see his records of when he's been pumping that.
Something that you'll want to put a request in that we'll ask for. And it's a circumstance where, like I say, he was given easement, he was given legal right, he was given all the format, but just the development hasn't occurred in that position to run it. And to run a 4-inch line 500 feet or more across isn't going to be an answer. So, you had a question before I move on?
Yeah, I just wondered, you mentioned something about it being an extension to the city and sewer line, or is it just gonna be a service line over to him?
No, he'll have to extend the main along off of over Walter and come up to run his service line down to it into a manhole.
So it'd be an extension of the city
Correct.
main. So you'd have to go, whatever plans he had, you'd have to send them to the state for their review.
And the letter expressed all of that was sent to him, and correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So anyway, we'll keep everybody informed on that. facility plan for the booster water meters, rural water. She did talk to Dylan. She has submitted an application to USDA on that. And we're looking at possibly, when we all talked about the booster and water meters possibly being added in. And that they're looking at also. So we'll have a report hopefully next meeting, whether that can be added in also.
Pending.
Okay? All right,
Another question.
yes, sir.
The facility plan for the booster station, is that under contract now to be written?
Yes,
Okay.
that we gave her the motion to move forward with that. It's just a matter of putting it into a facility plan itself to go in for award of grant loan as what it would have with DA&R.
But I guess my question is, understand that you made the motion and the motion was seconded and is approved to do that. Is there a specific contract that has what she has to do, what the deliverables are? Because I understand she's not the city engineer, that she's a contract engineer. So the way I understand it, that each one of the projects that she does, there needs to be a contract for.
Correct.
And I guess my question is there a contract for this?
She came back with the motion and the second on it, and she's putting that spec together. We're just doing the footwork right now, so we know what we're going to arrive at. There is a lot of homework to be done before it's all complete. She only got the motion to initiate to move forward, to put it together, and what we're gonna need for specs for what size booster, get with Public Works, where the design will come from, where it will be positioned, all of that, and then come back to us with that portion of her estimate. So that's where we're at. Further questions?
I'm just trying to understand it. Right now, she's just working a motion.
Proposal,
A proposal,
correct.
and she's being paid for doing this, what she's doing right now?
She will, yeah. We motion to approve her to do that research
But I
of
guess
what we're gonna need.
from my background and experience in working with contracts and stuff, and when you're not a public employee, that there needs to be a contract and there needs to be deliverables on what she's supposed to be delivering in a signed contract before work is done.
And that's why that motion in second is the contract and the approval, to have her initiate, to bring the information to us, what we're gonna need to know, and what it's gonna cost us to have her do that job. So we have done step A, to
Okay.
get to step B, so that we can approve step C.
Now, when she comes back and says, this is what it's gonna cost for me to do the job, is that when you write the contract?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is item number 9, done with engineer, planning and zoning. P&Z, July 12, 2022 minutes.
I don't see them in here.
Which we didn't have, no, I was gonna say, I didn't have any of them.
Oh, wow.
Item B was the permit 2022-2022 commercial building, Walnut Grove self-storage. Everything that you've seen going through P&Z. There was questions about footings and putting the design together and some questions. And then that was all satisfied. And at the end, then it was recommended to approve. And per engineer staff report, all the normal permit requirements.
I'm sorry, I did not get those
Legals.
minutes in here, but those are the minutes.
Okay,
If there's anything
if
in there.
anybody needs to see them.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if there was anything that you needed to read from there.
Well, I was at the meeting, so I heard everything
Okay.
that needed to be done and approved, so. So I need a motion to approve per engineer staff
I
report.
like that.
Hendrickson makes the motion, do we have a
Second
second? Second by Kramer, any further discussion? Anything from you, Craig?
No, sounds good.
Look forward to the project.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. We have the FII dedicated public right-of-way, the Triple J and K Properties LLC and Hermosa Hills LLC. Basically, looks like the two of you got it figured out on the right-of-way. Anything that we need to know for discussion?
No, I just didn't want to have that other agreement holding up any development in that area. That's why we sat down and had that agreement changed.
We appreciate your commitment on that and appreciate your help. And that's well noted for the community, so thank you for that. Any other questions from the board on that? So we can remove B and C, motion to have that done.
Like that.
Hendrickson makes it, do I have a second?
Okay.
By Kramer, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Item 10 is Public Works. Committee reports.
Well, I called Chuck for his committee report, and he said he was coming to the meeting, so he was gonna give it to you. But what I can tell you is that they were here today, and there was no leaks found up between the hydrant and the
The
main before.
distribution, correct.
Distribution, nothing found there, and there was an issue, there is an issue with the meter at the Flying J, and it is not registering small flows coming through, any small flows coming through. So they think that could be quite a major issue, and we need to purchase a different meter that probably costs about $4,000. No,
Compound meter.
compound meter, thank you. Chuck, it does not cost $4,000?
2,500.
So
$2,500.
it's 2-inch,
That's what they thought.
So that it will register the small amounts. And so I believe that that should be given approval of tonight, so that it can be bought and put in ASAP to see what we are losing there, you know?
okay?
I think that's a big deal with the water loss. And then that makes me wonder if possibly a couple other users that use large amounts of water also have that type of a meter, the same as what they have up there, and maybe we need to change out possibly the drive-ins meter, possibly the meter at the fairgrounds, maybe, I don't know, any other places that have a lot of small use turn-ons and it doesn't register that, you know? That could be a great amount of water that they're using that is not actually getting accounted for.
Mr. Ferguson, I'll get back to you, Jerry. What's your comments on that?
Well, a compound meter, as she said, works both ways, high flow and low flow. And the issue that we're having with the Flying J, as we did a check on that, running a small amount of water, that is a high volume meter. The other thing I would like to express is that we have never bought commercial meters.
Right.
The business owner did that.
Right.
So consequently, we're probably gonna have to approach MG, for changing that meter out. It was, I'm thinking it was changed when the remodel was done and all that was changed, and their tap was changed to West Main instead of out front. She was there when we went through the whole thing because I didn't want to create a disturbance with her. I mean, she was right there and we explained everything to her. I checked on the cost of the meter today, and they're about $2,500 give or take some.
You know,
It's way better.
that's a 2-inch flanged meter. And one of the things that we looked at was the fact that, you know, the amount of water to justify is about 20 gallons a minute. But the problem that you have is it could be 2 gallons over here and 5 over there, and the combination of these two, which is almost undetectable. When we looked at this meter up here and decided it's not calculating the low flow, I mean, how much that attributes, it's maybe part of the equation. The other thing that we discovered today, the brand new meter we put in down there, here a while back, it stopped. It has a turbo in it, we pulled it apart, didn't find anything in it, put it back together, and it took off again.
Which meter?
The brand new one, that's our master meter. So the other thing that comes into play there is that the amount of gallons per minute, it is increasing, and there is no reason for that. Because there's a couple of things that could affect that. Air, maybe not. It's producing 150 gallons a minute. And there's no way in hell that that pump and the static levels and stuff, that well is producing 150 gallons a minute. So that could be throwing our master meter numbers off.
Mike, think that?
Well, that's what I called meter technology today, and we sent them a picture of the meter and the head that's on there, and it's a T450 that's on there. That supposedly is the right one, but the guy on the phone on tech support says we're going to send you a different setup for that thing, which would be compatible for the new system that we're putting in, to be able to remote read that also. And it actually records, you know, hours, minutes, all of that. What does not jive is the fact the hour meter that we put in and the amount of gallons that are being pumped does not jive. At 150 gallons a minute, those numbers don't jive. It comes out of about 60 gallons a minute, is exactly what the old meter was producing. So if the master meter is doubling, that could very well explain some of the differences in what's being pumped and what's going on there, our water losses.
The horrible thing is why we still got the frickin' water running into the containment pond and
Yeah,
coming down through.
Well, this is true.
And
it
we
does-
cameraed that, we seen the hole, we
Yeah.
seen the infiltration,
Yeah,
we know there's a situation there.
yeah,
We tested,
and it test red.
so I mean,
Yeah.
that's what blows me away, is that everything's leaning the other way, that there's still a
Yeah.
leak somewhere.
Yeah, and it's, so I said to him, where do we go from here? He said, we've tested, and retested, and retested. I
Still,
said, well, we can't leave it lay, I mean,
No.
we can't stop.
no,
So, one other thing that did come into play that, we're probably gonna monitor the big tower. And the only way that we can do that is measure the water level.
when it's full, and then,
From the top, measure it, isolate it, shut it off completely from usage, and 24 hours, measure it again.
no,
Because there is some moisture around that foundation, not much, but, you know, if it's getting away, he was concerned about the construction of the pad. I think we have documentation of how that was done. I was there when it was put up, and they put it up in sections, but the actual pad, I believe, was poured in one piece,
the old tower or new tower?
new
New
tower.
tower.
Right, Right.
And, you know, we had it cleaned and inspected in 21,
Right.
so we're grasping at straws, but those are things that we're trying to follow up on that could possibly be an answer.
Because as thorough as he was through all this part of town, that part of town, your part of town, and nothing.
And we went back and when we checked the southern part of town, we did that in one phase.
Right.
And to have that much and have almost zero loss was unbelievable.
Yep.
So we went back and isolated some of that out and checked my subdivision in complete by itself. And then the trailer park and some of the stuff on the north side, we isolated some of that stuff out and checked it again. And nothing.
Yeah.
We haven't given up by no means. I mean, we still have some issues here that needs to be answered, and it's very time consuming.
That's the only way though. So we appreciate the time and the communication.
And dedication and donating and, you know,
I know.
yeah.
So I spoke to Chuck today. I had a phone call about a possible leak or seepage around one of the hydrants or whatever down at the fairgrounds. And so I called Chuck today and I asked the guys from the rural water to check it out for us.
What was their answer?
And what was their answer? Did they come back in?
They said I probably had it under control not to bother them.
But the answer that I got was that when the hydrant is fully turned on, have to fully turn on, it does not leak. There's a pressure valve, what is it?
Leave that.
Okay, there you go. And that when the hydrant is not all the way up, then it leaks out of there. And that's where that seepage is coming from.
Right.
So,
Even in the fire department, there are people that are not trained on how to operate a fire hydrant. And the problem you have there is they're an all-weather unit, so consequently they have to be designed to drain back in the wintertime. So in between each usage, there is a weep hole in the bottom. And lots of people, when they close the hydrant down, they close it down too fast, number one, and that causes water hammer and stirs the water, and the little old lady's got white duds in her washing machine, gets rusty water from water hammer. The other thing is that they screw the operating nut down and get a strong arm on it and close it tight. That is an absolute no-no. That operating nut has nothing to do with the way that hydrant shuts off. It is spring-loaded in the bottom and has a rubber deal just like a conventional faucet does in your house, and a brass seat in the bottom. When that gets down so far, that spring closes that fire hydrant off, and that operating nut has to be free. They run it all the way down and then get on it and give it an extra tug to tighten it up, and that's absolutely the wrong thing to do. So if it is not open all the way, then that exposes that drain back hole, and the water comes, the pressure is coming in and going out that drain back hole. It has to be at half open or more to close that drain back hole. Otherwise, it'll bubble up alongside the fire hydrant and looks like you got a major leak. And that is not the case. I've had several calls from people saying, oh boy, we got water boiling out of the ground.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Thank you. Further on your report? Yes, yes, sir.
Back to you had mentioned about the meters and purchasing the meters for the commercial. Chuck bring that up that you guys haven't. The way I understand it, you guys don't purchase the meters for commercial. I just purchased my own. And so I just wanted to verify that. I mean, Chuck's bringing it up as now you don't do that, so.
So maybe we just need to regulate the type, the size, whatever that they put in,
Right,
different than what we're doing now.
the brand, that type of
The
thing.
brand and all
He
that.
paid for his, like the rest of these should pay for theirs.
Correct.
So you'll just put
We
that
didn't furnish the
letter,
one for the school, we didn't furnish the one for several other,
Right.
Dollar General, different ones.
right. So you'll just put the letter together to send to them, expressing what Mr. Ferguson wants for brand, style, and application. They'll have to contact him if they're gonna have another plumber put it in, and let him be there, so that way he's all involved in that part of it. So I need a motion to allow her to do that.
I'll make that motion.
Kramer makes it, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Hendrickson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Further, Mr. Ferguson.
That's about it on the water. We've got several of the power lights in the developments that electrical wires have been cut. I had them leave the ditches open, so that we can repair those. They're wired directly into the transformer, so Black Hills Electric has to be involved to open up the transformer ped. There's no breakers or anything between. There are at the poles, but not between the transformer and the pole itself. So consequently, they have to be involved to shut that down to make that live connection. So it's not huge, but there's going to see some lights that are not operating, some of the smaller lights around town. I've been in contact with them, and as soon as everybody gets together, we'll repair them.
I see the one by Corey's house is flashing too.
Yeah, that, I don't know if that's an indirect short. I mean, they did some boring there also.
Yeah.
Whether the wiring's loose or whether it got nicked or what happened there, I'm not positive. Which brings up another situation. People that are doing summer fills on their propane tanks. When it gets this hot, if those tanks are overfilled more than 85%, then the pop-offs go off. I've had a call that propane spewing, and luckily nobody was barbecuing or smoking a cigarette in that block. There probably would have been a huge explosion. And inexperienced people that filled that particular tank overfilled it for summer. You cannot go over 85% in the summertime on a fill. So what happens is sometimes when people are getting their reduction in price on a summer fill for the winter on huge tanks, this comes into play. So this is a reminder that this is what happens, and there isn't really anything that you can do because that pop-off valve is controlled by pressure, and the pressure is caused from the excessive heat.
Yeah.
The tank heats up, so the only solution, even shutting the valve off, does not help. So the only solution is to get the garden hose out and cool it down. Run water on it till the tank cools down and the pop-off valve closes and the danger is gone. I mean, it could be very serious. This situation, you know, had about a half a block that was full of propane gas.
Must have been an inexperienced driver.
That's what I was gonna say, the drivers should know better than that.
Well, you know, when you're short-handed and you get idiots and all of this business, then how do you reimburse the homeowner of hundreds of gallons of propane that's lost? So that issue has all been addressed.
Appreciate it, Mr. Ferguson. Further.
I think that's it. There's still chuck holes in areas and that kind of stuff as far as streets are concerned.
Yep, I've gotten up to 3rd Street, got down in Ferguson yet, the rest is 2nd and Fairgrounds Place, and
How about 3rd and Manny? There's some doozies right there in front of her house.
Yep, done,
How come I don't see those? I just
because
don't.
they're done.
Oh, okay.
And,
As well as the approach down there on Whitney Street's done, and
there's some
Over
other-
here.
backside of Third, and the alley is almost all the way done coming down. I got one more load of millings to put in there.
What you did on the side of the road here?
Yeah, that's what I started working on, and then got dark. So
Fairgrounds Place also has got some,
it's on the list.
have you been there?
Yep. Probably gonna need to get another load of gravel by the time I'm done, but I think I'll have enough to finish Fairgrounds, so.
We've got some little four-legged critters in the storage building down, where the patrol cars are. And those have got, the one patrol car, the battery goes dead in it regardless what goes on. We've had to jump it several times, and we've got a maintenance deal on it now that we look at every so often, but,
You got a tender on it?
yeah. The battery probably should have been replaced, and the maintenance is being done on it, and that obviously didn't happen. There's quite a bit of corrosion on it, one thing or another. If that's not really our area, but if you would like us to address that, we sure can.
Which outfit?
And,
The Tahoe.
yeah,
I'll just wait until
we want to put a new battery in it and
budget.
terminals, and, you know, the amount of electrical stuff that's in there, there is a switch to kill that stuff, but I mean, the amount of stuff that's in that electrical stuff in there, the chances of a draw are 100%, you know.
That's why we got a good tender on
If
it.
it's just, even just the lights, you know,
Handle it.
that are on, you know.
The mice, if you got a bunch of them Tomcat cubes that you threw in there, you should pick a bunch of them up, because that's what works the best for us out at our place. Pick up a bucket of them and throw in several in corners, and we put under the seats of the vehicles,
Yeah,
and then outside, any place you can get it under a little cover so it don't dissolve, and pump house, and, you know,
Do we need a motion
coat them.
for that?
Well, that's just maintenance,
Okay.
and just pick them up.
Okay.
we kind of roughly discussed the tip thing, that's due the 1st of August. I've looked it over, and there's
The what?
CMOM.
CMOM.
Right.
I just gotta take a half an hour and go through it, and
Okay.
As long as we're okay where we don't have to need to, like I say, when I asked you the other day about if we need the engineer to fill that out to make them satisfied, or,
she, you know.
so the main thing is to meet the
No,
deadline.
The information that she would have to know, she'd have to get from me or Gail to fill it out.
Right.
So,
The main thing is that we make that August 1st deadline, and that'll be a good thing on that.
I've got a good reminder.
So the rodent control you'll just handle then. We'll have a discussion on where we're at on the
You would
CMOM
want to
next
address
meeting.
the terminals and the battery and that stuff, I mean,
Pardon?
do we want to address the terminals and the battery and that stuff in that card?
Well, they wanted to wait on everything until after budget, so.
Well, if somebody goes down one fuse right now, it might be questionable whether it'll start.
I don't see
I
no
can't see
use on
anybody
it.
using it.
No.
So we'll just leave what we've got on it and work it from there.
Okay.
Anything further, Mr. Ferguson?
You
Yes, sir.
Chuck,
What's that?
do you have anything?
It's the old one, the old car, not John's.
Oh, the one the battery's going down on?
It's the old one, the Tahoe's good.
You can put it on.
It's just corrosion there.
Yeah.
On the Tahoe, it's just corrosion. On the old one, it's the batteries and lots of corrosion and stuff.
On the Escalade.
Right.
Jerry, you had a question?
Yes, I was just looking to see if the speed limit signs and the stop signs and stuff, was
That
it
was
under
my
Public
question.
Works or was it under old business? I don't see it under old business either.
It's on the schedule.
Because it was motioned, I talked to Chuck. Chuck was hoping they'd get to it this week to put them in,
We're hoping.
so.
But this heat, it's just, by 1 o'clock, we're shut down. But we'll get, one of these evenings, we'll get down there as soon as we get the Bobcat freed up.
I have a Bobcat at my place, that's what you need.
6-inch auger.
I don't have a 6-inch auger, but I got
You got an auger, I can,
I got a driver. I mean,
okay, well, then I'll come down one of these evenings and get busy.
yeah, just bring your auger down, is it Bobcat?
Good. Excellent, gentlemen.
Good.
Work her out, and we'll get her done. Anything further, Mr. Ferguson?
No.
And that answered your question, Hendrickson? Thank you. Thank you all for all the input. Item H, of course, we talked about in the other item, so that will all just go away because it was for discussion purposes only. And the pole barn law enforcement vehicle road and patrol, you guys will just handle that, so a motion to remove that. Hendrickson makes it, second
Second.
by Craig. Schumacher, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Finance officer?
I have a profit and loss in there, year-to-date to last year. I don't really think I need to go into a whole lot of details with any of this, because we'll be
No.
discussing all this tomorrow night and, okay. I really don't have any department updates either.
Okay, we'll look forward to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on budget. So that'll be a good one.
That's my idea of entertainment.
Anything further?
No,
Thank you. 12 is old business. A is, of course, pending until we meet with the commissioners.
When is that gonna happen?
but the budget meetings?
Commissioner, no.
Next
Oh.
I don't
meeting.
care about your budget meetings.
I
You
think-
should.
I won't be there.
I think next meeting, we'll be on their agenda.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
resolutions weren't.
Oh, excuse me, yes, on the
weren't
27th.
proper. So Tracy would be comfortable with that, so I'm hoping.
So next Wednesday.
You'll have to remind me and we'll go definitely. And town sign is pending. C is deck staining pending. And the mud jacking on D. I'd really like to get that solved on all of them. I know we were gonna walk that, check it, and I don't know if anybody ever checked all the white paint and the different
I was out there.
places that I moved them and places I didn't think they were fine, so let's finish this one and have it done before next meeting, then we'll get together and walk it,
All right.
have it all taken care of. The ARPA grant approval to sign, of course, that's under engineer and I need a motion to remove that.
Yeah, I'll make that.
Pardon?
From old business, correct?
Correct,
Okay,
it'll stay under engineer.
okay.
You made that motion, Hendrickson, second.
Okay.
Kramer, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Item F was the camera drainage, which we did that on the retention pond. We have that knowledge, we have everything there, we just need to get Mike back here and do some more details. You're also, and I'm sorry, I'll let it go by, the other meters that you guys were talking about, are you going to look at them being replaced too? As she referenced, like the fairgrounds and north users or any of them?
That whole fairgrounds thing is a mess, and I've talked to the fair board about it. They said it belongs to the county and they're gonna bring it up to them. That's an accident waiting to happen. There's very bad plumbing in that pit, and it's after the meter, and
So we need a statement, so when we go to the commissioners meeting,
Yeah.
maybe we can put that on the agenda for the fairgrounds. The discussion of concerns of our public works and the plumbing in that manhole and what needs to be done and then what needs to be done on the meter. Anything else that comes to mind, let Gail know and then we'll
yeah.
put that all together and we can take care of it face to face then.
So request to get that in the Custer County Commissioner's agenda,
Yes.
Fairgrounds Place meter.
Bit, meter and bit.
Or fairgrounds, not,
I mean, not, yeah, Fairgrounds meter, okay.
and then anything else that comes to mind with Chuck, then that needs to be addressed. Because they're gonna be doing that addition and stuff down there, so that should all be figured in and taken care of at one time and then a new
Where they
meter.
wanna put that restroom and stuff is not gonna work, so I need to discuss that with them on that location.
Okay, so we'll,
Didn't we have to approve that?
yes,
They kinda indicated that might be on hold because of, I don't know, funding or something, but I had a polite discussion with them that that's not the place to put it. It looked like there was not gonna be an issue when we first talked about it, when they applied for the permit. However, there is not room between the road and the water line and the ball field to get the sewer line through down to where the cooler is down by the old toilets.
so they're gonna have to come in for a modification on their permit.
Something, yes, and then that's only the half of it, they just sewed another fiber right smack through there, so that's gonna have to be dealt with also.
Who are you dealing with over there?
Well, it's been, Megabauer,
Greg,
Greg, mostly, but they kinda indicated the last conversation that I had with him that that probably was on hold. The new bathrooms and the concession stand.
Okay, keep us posted then, thank you. All right, nothing else under old business, nothing under new business. Items from citizens. Yes, sir.
Yep. What I'm gonna be referencing is a South Dakota municipal official.
As long as we're not discussing personalities, I'll allow it. Otherwise, we won't,
I'm not talking about personalities, Dan,
okay?
all right?
We'll see where it goes and how far we allow it.
One thing I want to talk about is open meeting laws. There was a meeting that was put on as an informational meeting. We came in to that meeting. And then they decided, because there might be some type of contractual or law deal talked about, it wouldn't be. I'm looking at what that meeting was for when Hunter Roberts was down here. And it was to discuss the funding, to see if they would change and actually,
No, sir.
that was on there. Then what they were talking about is the water, the sewer line going up that way. That sewer line, there's been 3 letters on that. As far as the funding with the state, there was 3 deals on that. I just want to let you know, I'm going to be filing with, see, who did they tell me to file with?
Remember, we're getting close to being done here with
Yep.
the 3 minutes.
Yep. Okay. I'll be filing with the secretary, or the attorney general in, or whatever they call them in Custer County. I feel there was a violation there, and when it gets investigated, I know the people on the board can't say anything about it, but they will have to say stuff under oath when they're getting asked questions. I think you guys use this executive session stuff way too much. You guys come out of executive session, you say there's no motion made, but then things just happen. This one thing up there, the purpose of that meeting was an informational meeting to find out if what could happen, and he even mentioned it today, the lawyer here, to have his friend Goodwin or whatever, something like that, said he'd get with Hunter Roberts and have him come down and talk. And everything that Hunter Roberts and his people would have talked about was open. Well, I attended, prior to that, 3 different meetings that dealt with that. Now, I guess my expectation is that someone address that. Some of the board members need to stand up when there's not, when things like that go into executive session, you know. And that to go into executive session was decided, I'm sure, when you and Sparkplug there went back in the back room.
Sorry, we're done.
Oh, I'm done, I see
Your
that.
3 minutes are done, thank you,
But I just want to let you know,
thank you.
we're filing on you.
Any other trustee or citizen input? Okay, we'll go into trustee input. Start with Schumacher.
A very interesting meeting.
Thank you. Kramer?
There's always a lot of information, a lot of good information. It was great that we got the rural water to come down and look at that. Chuck put their time into that. Thank you both very much. And for the information on the seepage, I thank you for that. I know I got a little loud today with you. We thank God we can do that with one another from time to time. We've done it for years. And at the end of the 8 o'clock meeting, 8 o'clock meetings are great. They're so much better than 10 o'clock meetings. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Hendrickson?
I have several things pending, but I'm not quite ready to present them, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. We will have a hard schedule on the budget meetings. We'll put that all together, get it all set and ready to go for the rest of the week, put everything together from that aspect of it. So we do have one discussion for executive session, so I would like to go into executive session.
For legal and contract purposes.
Correct. July 7:59, motion.
I'll make that motion.
Kramer makes the motion, do I have a second? Second by Hendrickson. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
What they came up with last time.
Thanks, everybody.
They voted on
Thank
it.
you,
So
Chuck.
we're in executive session.
My legs are moving now. 'cause
I have it on now.
So at 8:24, I'd like to come back in from executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Hendrickson makes the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Kramer. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. And in result of executive session, I have a motion that I need.
I'll make the motion to have Mitch write a letter to the other attorney to resolve the issues at hand
Yes. With Pop's grocery
with
store.
Bob's grocery store.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Yes.
Second by Kramer. Further discussion? There being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Abstaining.
I have 1 nay, 1 abstention,
It's for the 9.
and 2 nay.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
You had 1 nay?
Me,
Oh,
but it's still carried.
okay.
Okay, can I
Motion
make a
to
motion to adjourn?
at 8:26.
26.
Hendrickson made the motion, second by,
Guys?
Thanks, Mitch.
See you, Mitch.
thanks Mitch, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Gail, will you even
Motion
write
carried.
home or Terry or Linda or somebody?
I'll give you a ride up there.
Ooh,
Can you get in the truck?